All right, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Good morning. So I'd like to welcome everyone for our day one of our official training of bookkeeping under TESDA. But before anything else, before I formally start, I'd like to have a quick checking of our materials that we will be using for our entire training duration. Okay, so let's see. We have calculators, source documents, general and special journals, staplers, staple wires, pen and pencils, and then eraser. All right, I think we're all good to go. Now let's have a short prayer. I am encouraging everyone to bow their heads, close their eyes, and feel the presence of our Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, so let's proceed now with our attendance checking first. So as I call your name, please raise your hand or at least respond to me, all right? Do we have here Miss Arambalo Shane? Are you here today? All right, thank you, Shane. By the way, do we have Cortez Sam? Miss Sam, are you here? All right. Okay, I think we're all complete today. That's good. Now, again, I'd like to formally welcome you to GMSG Training Center. We are located here in the 19th floor, Philippine Axel Life Building, along Senator Hill Puyat, Makati City. So this is the name of our training center. So as your chosen qualification, we will be discussing about the bookkeeping and C level 3. So my name is Gizel Migat Labayan. As your trainer, you can call me Miss Giz. All right, so if you have any further questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me anytime, all right? Now, just to give you a brief background about our training center, GMSG is a newly accredited TESDA training center that provides technical education and self and skills development. All right. So as of now, we have 3 different courses that we are trying to offer to our trainees. The first one is events management. The second one is bread and pastry. You can see here on our screen. And then the last one is the bookkeeping. So since we are a new accredited center, hopefully by the next couple of years, we could add more additional TESDA courses, all right, so that we could offer a wider range of services to our future learners and trainees, just like you guys. And then our mission, let's talk about it. Our mission is to provide high quality training to enable our trainees to be globally competitive. And of course, for them to easily land a job, which is our main goal at the end of the day. Okay. Well, our vision is to have an affiliation with different recruitment agencies that would help us to facilitate the deployment of our future graduates. Okay. So now allow me to introduce to you the what we called pre-training assessment tools. Okay, these are the tools that basically would help me to get to know about you guys as my trainees. So the first one we will be having is the trainees characteristics. This is basically a data gathering instrument that would help me measure your level of background, your background knowledge, your skills, your experiences for me to customize the training depending on what you need, all right? And also depending on the level of the current competences that you have, okay? So you will answer these forms, okay? Please pass the paper, thank you. You will answer these forms in 5 minutes, okay? We can begin now. All right, time's up. Please pass the papers in front. Thank you. Next would be the self-assessment checklist, all right? So this checklist will help me to know if my trainees, you guys have relevant competencies already, or if you already acquired specific competencies already relative to bookkeeping, all right? So again, you have 5 minutes. You can start now. Time's up. Okay, please pass the paper in front. Okay, and the last part of our assessment tool would be the pre-test or pre-examination, and that would be for 20 minutes. Okay, you can start now. All right, are you done? Okay. All right, no worries because it would have it won't bear to your assessment results or competency results because this would just help me to get to know if you already have a background about it, if you already have the knowledge about bookkeeping, right? This would not be graded. Okay. So please pass your papers in front. All right. Upon checking, the result of your pre-assessments are this. As I noticed, Shane has already a prior knowledge in bookkeeping, which is good. She already knows how to journalize transactions specifically for single proprietorship. That's good. On the other hand, we have Sam. Sam has no prior knowledge on bookkeeping, especially in journalizing transactions, but that is totally fine. Since you have us today, me as your trainer, I'll be guiding you all throughout your journey. Okay, I'll be teaching you from the end-to-end process on how are we going to journalize transactions. All right, so no worries about that. So I was hoping that you could catch up with your co-trainees, all right, after the end of our training period. Now, let us familiarize ourselves with our workshop layout. So as of now, currently we are located at the first floor, but let us familiarize ourselves first um with the other areas of our center. So for the ground floor, you will see there we have the quality control area. So in this area, we usually conduct here the process quality controls like calibrations, various tests, and etc. Next to it is the support service area. So this is actually the room where we put the, the supplies, the materials needed for every training course that we are offering to trainees. Okay. And then next to that is the laboratory. So that is actually our computer lab. All right. You can see there our computer units and you can access that anytime. If you want to do your research inside that area, or do your outputs there, please feel free to do so. You can access it anytime, all right? Next to it is the trainer's resource area. So basically this area, it serves as our faculty room. So you can find me there just in case you will be having some concerns. Okay, you can reach out to me there. You can find me in this room or in this area. You can also find your other the other trainers from different courses. Okay. And the next we have on the left side is the distance learning area. So in case you won't be available to attend our face-to-face training programs or training sessions, you can still be assessed, right? Using this area, we can still assess you even if you're away from the center. You just have to have different online platforms where we can reach you. Say, for example, the one that I'm using right now, it's Zoom. You can also access Microsoft Teams, Google Meets, um, and the like platforms. Okay, and then we also have here the ladies' restroom on the right side and the men's restroom. Okay, now let's move forward with the first floor, just for familiarization. Okay, we also have the ladies' rooms here, the comfort room, and then the men's on the opposite side. Now we have here the contextual learning laboratory. So basically, this is our classroom area. So this is where we do or conduct the contextual discussions about our qualifications, all our underpinning knowledge, skills, okay, and things like that. So we are conducting it here, all right? And then next to it, on its left side, we have the learning resources center. This serves as our mini library from the word resource. So if there would be times that you will be needing some resources, some materials that you need for your qualification, feel free to drop by at our learning resource center. All right. And then next to it on the left side, we have the practical work area. So technically, this is the opposite of the contextual. In contextual, we usually discuss here the book-based knowledge and skills. But in practical area, this is where we conduct our practical assessments and exams. All right, this is an area where the trainee acquires the skills and knowledge components of our chosen competencies. Okay, I hope that's clear. And then last one, we have the institutional assessment area. So from the word itself, assessment area, this is where we conduct our assessments, even the recognitions of the prior learnings. And this is done, of course, by the assessor and your trainer, just like me. Okay, so far, do you have any questions about our workshop layout? If none, we will now be proceeding with orientation of your chosen qualification, which is bookkeeping and C3. All right. Please note that bookkeeping falls under the sector of health, social, and other community development. All right. As you can see here on the screen, this qualification to achieve the following competencies is a bit, you know, technical, but at the end of the day, we have to make sure that all these companies were able to be achieved by my trainees, by you guys. Because at the end of the day, our target here is for you to land a job such as bookkeeper or accounting clerk or accounting staffs. Okay, just so you know, in bookkeeping, we have 6 basic competencies. The first one is to lead workplace communication. Number 2, to lead a small team. Number 3, develop and practice negotiation skills. Number 4, solve problems relative to work activities. Number 5, use mathematical concepts and techniques. By the way, regarding this one, you don't have to worry. For those who have no background in accounting, we will just be using the basic math, the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So we're no longer using here the square roots, and etc. Things like that. Okay, just the business maths. And then the last basic competency that we have is the use of relevant technologies, especially nowadays when accounting is also has its um way of modernizing processes. So we now have computer accounting systems and such. So we literally have to catch up with the fast-paced, growing technologies. So that's our basic competencies. Next one, we have 4 common competencies. The first one is to apply quality standards, which is the GAP, the General Account Accepted Accounting Standards. Next one is to perform computer operations, of course. Number 3 is to maintain an effective relationship with clients and customers, because at the end of the day, business is business, right? The last one we have manage of own performance. Okay. And then we can now proceed with the core competencies. These are the most important, although I'm not saying that basic and common are not important competencies, all right? Don't get me wrong. But core competencies has a special feature, okay? A special learning, a special skill that would help you to become competent in bookkeeping. Okay, for you to become to be concluded as competent in bookkeeping, you have to have the skills to do all of this. Okay, you have to know how to journalize transactions, which is our main topic for today. Okay, you have to know how to post transactions. Yeah, you have to know how to prepare trial balances, prepare financial reports, and to review internal control system. That is why from the very beginning of our topic, you must master and keep on practicing and practicing all over again from the journalizing transactions, because it's a prerequisite topic or competency. Without you knowing how to journalize transactions, you cannot proceed with the succeeding process. You cannot post transactions if you don't know how to journalize transactions. Same with the preparation of financial statements and trial balance. And definitely you couldn't um, do the review, the internal control system, because your foundation with the basics is lacking. All right. So you have to master journalizing transactions. Okay. But as I always kept reminding my students, my trainees, it's not just all about the skills and the knowledge that we must master. We must also have or possess good attitude and manner. All right. It is good that you have the skills. It is good that you have the knowledge, but it is better if you have, or if you possess all of this. You have the manners, good attitude, right skills, you have a good experience and knowledge. Okay, that would be a perfect package as a trainee. Okay, next, let's proceed with the training delivery. So, what is the training delivery in TESDA? So, in TESDA, we use the competency-based training. So, what does it mean? Basically, it is an approach that focuses on the competency development. So, what does it mean, Miss Gaze? It's actually focused on the skills of the learners. Okay, it's more on the development of skills and knowledge of our trainees. So in short, the bottom line is we are trying to emphasize what a learner can actually do in real employment setup. Okay, so that is the CBT. So why CBT is being used by TESDA? Actually, in reality, especially in the corporate world. The reason why TESDA is using CBT approach is for us to keep pace with the technology, especially with the customer requirement. This is the thing that I've mentioned earlier. We really have a real fast modernization. So we really have to keep pace. We have to catch up. And not we cannot do that if we only focus on the book-based learnings. You have to apply everything that we learned from the school, from your high school, college institutions, from TESDA. We have to have a good hands-on experience with the skill that we have in order for us to become globally competitive. Okay? We must be reminded of all of that one. Now, I would like to introduce to you the 10 different principles of the CBT. Okay, the first one is the training is based on curriculum developed from the competency standards. Because it does that, guys, uh, we have these rules and specific standards for us to meet. Okay, in order for us to be considered as a competent of that qualification. So meaning to say we have specific standards in bookkeeping that we must meet at the end of the day or at the end of the training for us to be competent in bookkeeping NC3. All right, that's the context of it. Second principle, learning is competency-based or modular in nature or structure. Number three, training delivery is individual and self-paced. What does it mean, individual? It's actually different uh, to our elementary or high school approach because usually we have activities there that we are being graded by group, right? Our presentations, projects, etc. But in TESDA, this is an individualized setup. So meaning whatever you do, that would be your performance. It doesn't affect the other's performance. Also, in TESDA, we believe that every trainees have different levels of ways on learning things, ways on doing things. You have different strategies on taking, you know, the different experiences. So each trainee is different from one another. So we have to assess them one by one, like individual professionals. That's what we do here. Okay. Number four, training is based on work that must be performed. So learning should be based on the actual industry. That's why if you have a background in accounting, might as well that you take test the bookkeeping so that your line of profession, um your test the course will still be aligned to your chosen line of profession. Okay. And then last one for the slide, number five, training materials are directly related to the competency standards in the curriculum. For the next slide, we have number six, since we have 10 principles. Number six, Assessment of learners is based on the collection of evidences of work performance based on the industry or organizational required standards. So what does it mean? It only means that we can assess our trainees or learners using different tools, and we can gather different evidences. They can submit their legal certificate that they have already acquired a specific competency. It could be validated. They can be go under the written examination, demonstration, oral questioning, etc., etc. Okay. Number 7, training is based on and off the job components. Number 8, the system allows recognition of prior learning. So this is the what we called RP. So it only means that um, if you already have a background in accounting or bookkeeping, you can now move to the next level or next competency. Okay? It really based on what you currently have, based on your knowledge and your skills and experiences. Okay, you can ask for a validation process to your trainer so that you could move on to the next level. Okay. Number 9, the system allows for learners to enter and exit programs at different times and levels and to receive an award for competencies attained at any point. And then last one is approved training programs are nationally accredited. Okay, if you guys notice, majority of the Filipinos working abroad, migrating abroad, are taking TESDA. You know why? Because it is nationally accredited. That's why for those Filipinos who are very resourceful, very strategical in nature, they are, what do you call this? They are trying to play safe so that when they get there to their chosen country, let's say Canada or Australia or Europe, they already have the skills and experiences that they can contribute to the company they are eyeing for. At least they have the skills because they undergo training of TESDA. Yeah, that's the beauty of having or implementing the CBT approach. Okay. Now, question: what's the difference of fit to the traditional learning? Well, obviously, traditional learning is more on teacher-centered. It is just basically the teacher who keeps on um, providing the discussions, the lectures, activities, etc. But in CBT, we are now more engaged with our learners, with our trainers, with our trainees rather. So it is learner-centered now. In traditional learning, students are enter about the same time, but in CBT, students enter various times throughout the year. Okay, by the way, before I move forward with the roles of trainers and trainees, do you have any questions or clarifications? All right, if not, I'll now proceed to the next slide, which is the roles of me as a trainer. So as a trainer, I am your facilitator. That means that I will guide you, I will assist you all throughout your training procedures or training journey. I can also be your mentor. It means that I should be engaged more to my trainees, and I have to make all the discussions and activities as interactive as possible, right? Because a lot of students should be learning by doing. Okay. Next is, as a trainer, I am your managers of learning. I am also your counselor. It means that I should provide necessary advices if you have concerns, issues, problems, etc. Of course, I am also your evaluator, right? I should monitor your progress. I should assess you if you were able to meet already the standards of your of bookkeeping qualification. I'm also your learner assistant, module planner, role model, and mentor. Yeah, I hope that's clear. Now, on the other hand, as a trainee, you may select what you want to learn and when you want to learn it. Okay, these are your responsibilities. As a trainee, also, you may learn at your own rate within the program guidelines. So meaning own rate, it is self-paced. Okay. You may also request to receive credit for what you already know. This is the thing that mentioned earlier, the RPL, or the recognition of prior learning. Okay. You may also choose how you want to learn, right? You are also responsible for what you learn and when you learn it. And also, just to remind everyone, in TESDA, trainees do not compete against the other trainees. Okay, we are actually competing against the standards set by TESDA, okay, or the um global bodies, right? So these are the roles of you guys. Now let's proceed with the CPP process. So as you can see here, so this is basically the flow that is, being um being a serve as a guide of training of a specific qualification. So let us start to discuss. Okay, so the first thing that will happen is that the trainee enters the program. So you will have your orientation, just like what we're doing right now. You'll also know your roles as a trainee, the roles of your trainer, administer the RPL, and then after that, trainee selects competency and receive instruction. So basically, this stage is where we actually do the actual discussions, observations, assessments, practices, the organization of learning strategies. We will be providing you the materials that you will be needing for your qualification, the introduction of the use of progress charts, etc. We have here also the use of manuals, observation of your demonstration, having practical skills workshops, and then you will receive, of course, the assistance from me as your trainer. And then after that, we will be having our trainee practices test. Of course, for me to track or to test the level of knowledge or skills that you have already acquired all throughout our training activities. Okay, but it should be evaluated both ends, meaning I will evaluate and observe your performance. At the same time, you will also evaluate your own performance. Okay, so you could have self-reflection. Okay, so you can make adjustments if necessary. But at the end of the day, it would be me who will rate your performance. So in rating your performance, I actually have three questions that should be my guide in assessing if you are already competent or not yet. Okay, the first one is that uh, are my trainees have satisfactorily performed their competency? Next one is, are my trainees be able to complete all the competencies? Next one is, are my trainees able to achieve enough competencies? If the answers are no, okay, the trainee should get back to the previous activities and discussions. So it's basically, going back to the previous lectures, keep on practicing until they already have the mastery of that specific topic or area that they find it difficult to deal with or to study with. Okay. If the answers are yes, then definitely me as a trainer, I can recommend you to take the national assessment. And that's when you exit the program. Once you completed the assessment and you pass it, okay, that's already good. You can now exit the program. Okay. Next would be, after the CBT process flow, I'll discuss with you the CBLM package. So CBLM stands for Competency-based Learning Material. Okay, so this package is simply a well-designed and carefully developed learning materials that give trainees detailed instructions that will guide them throughout the learning process. So we have the media for information, learning resources, the tools that will facilitate your learning process, and then the instruments that are useful for your chosen qualification. Okay, before I proceed with the different CBLMs, do you have any questions there? All right, if none, okay, let's continue. I'll be discussing to you guys the CBLMs. So we have the so-called preliminary pages, the information sheet. It means that it's the content of learning activities. For self-check, it's the immediate assessment. For answer key, it's the immediate feedback. Then we also have the performance test, okay, for us to know or to test if we're able to catch up with the discussions or practices or activities that we are doing. So performance tests include operation sheet, jump sheet, and task sheet. And for me to monitor and to provide feedback to your performance, you have the so-called performance criteria checklist. So task is being rated from these three sheets. Okay. So just so you know, this is what a training progress chart looks like. Even the achievement chart. Okay, you have the name here, qualification, the name of your trainer, and then all the core competencies in bookkeeping. Okay, this is the training progress chart. Same with achievement progress chart. Okay, next one is the training activity matrix. As per methodologies, we actually have three. The first one is self-paced study or modular. Number two is the practical demonstration or the demo. Third one is the structured learning exercise. For the evaluation tool, we have the written test and also questioning if you are trying to evaluate the underpinning knowledge of the trainees, okay? Next one would be the demonstration and performance test. If we intend to evaluate the underpinning skills of the trainees. Okay. For the monitoring tools, we have three: progress chart, achievement chart, and then the training activity matrix, which is the one that I showed you earlier. Now, in this case, what is the evaluation system that we have in TESDA? Actually, our evaluation system in TESDA is different from the usual grading system that we had during our college, elementary, high school. In TESDA, because before, in different institutions like high school, college, we have UNO, right? Those, we also 100, 98, 95, 74 if you have a feeling subject, right? But in TESDA, it's way different. We have two different evaluation system. Number one is competent. Number two is not yet competent. When we say competent, it means that you possess all the necessary competencies from basic to common to core competencies in a specific qualification. However, if you are lacking of the competency, you are considered as not yet competent. But at least it doesn't mean that you are absolutely a failure or you absolutely failed in this qualification because there's a word yet. Because in TESDA, we believe that there is always room for improvement. That doesn't mean that you are forever failure, you are forever failed in this course. No, it just means that you need further mastering and practices of your chosen qualification. Okay, it's your chance to be competent. Just keep on practicing whenever you receive this evaluation result, but hopefully not. All right, at the end of the day, our target here is all of our training should be competent. Okay, but then again, I keep on reminding my students, it's not just about the skills and the language. Your attitude and manner also matter. Okay, so far, do you have any questions? If not, that would be the sum up of our day one training orientation. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Thank you for listening. All right, so good morning, everyone. Before we start, welcome to our day two. Let me have first our attendance checklist. Do we have Shane? Shane, are you here? All right, were you able to bring your certificate with you so that I could check it? All right, can you pass it in front? Thank you. Okay, upon checking, it seems that this is a legal certificate, but still, as part of the process, I still have to validate it. I still have to validate your skills. So we undergo further validation process. You'll be having a written test, demonstration, and oral questioning. And for that one, I will assign you to our institutional area. Okay, but for Sam, are you here? Okay, that's good. For you, I'll be assigning you to the practical work area. All right, hello, good afternoon, Sam. So me again, I'm your trainer, Liza Gatulbayan, or Miss Liz. I will be teaching you the the things that you must learn in doing the journalizing transactions, specifically for single proprietorship. So don't worry if you don't have any backgrounds in accounting, bookkeeping. Okay, we'll go through the discussion one step at a time. Okay, for you to master it. So in bookkeeping, especially in journalizing transactions, we have three learning outcomes. The first one, excuse me, the first one is to for you to know how to prepare chart of accounts. Number two is to analyze documents. Number three is to prepare journal entries. Now, in preparing journal entries, you must know these things. You have to know the types of journals, especially that we have an updated or updated way in journalizing transactions. Before, we are only using general journals, meaning to say all the transactions are being recorded in GJ or general journals. But now we have several special journals. We have this cash receipts journal, cash disbursement journal, um, subsidiary ledgers. We also have revenue journals and purchase journals and things like that. So you have to familiarize yourself with it, all right? Next things that you have to learn is the debit account titles and then the credit account titles. So in summary, you must be familiarized with the normal balances of accounts, okay? Then the next one is the explanation to journal entries. And then lastly is the journalizing transaction. Now, for you to easily grasp the idea on how to prepare journal entries that are recorded to special journals, I have prepared here one set of videos. Okay, the first one, if you click the link, okay, this will direct you to a video presentation tackling about special journals. But this one is more of local based or Philippine based. Now, if you feel like studying a bit advanced, okay, you can proceed with the next link. If you click this, it will direct you to a YouTube video presentation that is internationally uh, internationally prepared. So it's kind of complicated, but still it's the same thought or context here in bookkeeping in the Philippines. Okay, let's try to see it. Let me just share it on my screen first so that everyone could see it. Okay. This is the video I'm telling earlier. This is the first link. It will direct you here.
Journal. This journal specifically designed to record sales of merchandise on account. So ito yung example.
All right, so that's the end of the video presentation. Now let's move forward with the second one.
How they interface with the special journals as well as the subsidiary ledgers. I'm going to assume that you've read all of the.
All right, that's the end of that presentation. So I hope you guys were able to learn how to journalize transactions in special journals, all right? Now let's go back to our slide presentation. Now, when we say journal, it is actually a record of financial transactions on a daily basis, and it is arranged by date. So you have to know the following data that should be included whenever you do journal entries. You must have to include the correct date, the amount to be debited and credited, of course, the account titles, and the short description, especially if you are recording in the general ledger. All right. Okay, next. Okay. So one way to remember how to debit and credit accounts is for you to master the different normal balances of accounts. Now, for assets and expenses, we increase them by recording the amounts on the debit side. Okay. It's opposite on the liabilities for owner's equity and revenues. If we wanted to increase their amount, it should be credited. Otherwise, it should be on the other side. Okay, I hope that is clear. Okay, now let's talk about the special journals. We have the revenue journals. In revenue journals, this is where we record transactions whenever we provide a service, but we haven't received the cash yet. So meaning there's some collectible accounts or amounts from our customer. So for example, on February 5, Android Mo Incorporated, they availed our service. So we provided them the service, but they did not pay us right away. So maybe they'll be paying us for the next month. Okay, at least we have something to collect from them. Amount to 76,500. Okay, that's how it works, in terms of revenue journal. So along with revenue journal, we have also what we call AR subsidiary ledger. So in AR subsidiary ledger, it is basically the report of the detailed flow or transactions to our clients. So meaning to say, we have different books per client just to monitor their payments. Okay, for example, for Android Mo Incorporated, last February 5, they avail our service, but they didn't pay us right away. So it's a collectible. So they have balance of 76,500, right? But on February 10, they'll be able to pay us. So we received cash. Okay, that's why the accounts receivable account is credited. Now that left them the amount of zero balance to their ledger because they have already settled their payment, even though it's late. Okay, that's the concept. I hope you get it. So going back, after the revenue journal, we have the cash receipts journal. Now, when you're journalizing transaction, you have to think of the thing that you received and the thing that you give, but it has to be on the point of view of the business. For example, last February 4, Founder Incorporated paid, okay, their remaining balance of 53,200. So what did you receive? Of course, cash. So you will debit cash. And what did you give? Of course, there will be no further collections from them since they already paid their debts or their obligations. Okay, and then next, we also have the purchase journal account. In purchase journal, this is where we record transactions whenever we are purchasing something, but it is on account. So on our part, we didn't pay our suppliers right away. We just provided them, okay, we'll just pay that next week, okay? Excuse me. So meaning there is receivables on there, but there are payables on our end. For example, last February 1, we buy some supplies at the National Bookstore. Since we did not pay them right on the spot, okay, we receive supplies, debit, receive, credit. What we had is the payables, okay? We owe them some money amounting to 12,000 pesos. Okay, the same thing with the revenue journal. We also have the so-called subsidiary ledger accounts for our payables. This is for us to track every liabilities that we have per client, per company, right? That's how we record purchase journal. And then the last one is the cash disbursement journal. So when we say cash disbursement, disburse, okay, meaning we are releasing cash. So as you can see here, all cash accounts are credited. All right. So for example, last February 3, we bought some supplies again from NBA bookstore. So what did we receive? Of course, supplies, right? We bought supplies. We received supplies. What did we give? Cash. So it's credited. Okay. What you receive, debit. What you give, credit. That's how it works. Okay. For the next one, I have prepared here a simple activity for us to answer. Okay, we'll be answering the first three, and then the rest will be done by you. All right. So first, for the first transaction, it says here, Demos invested 16,000 cash in the business. So the problem is, Laura Demos started her own consulting firm. So it's a sole proprietorship. Its name is Demos Consulting. The the business started last May 1, 2015. So these are the list of transactions that occurred within the month of May. So the first one, how will you record that? Demos invested 16,000 cash in the business. If you were the business, what did you receive? Definitely cash, right? You received the cash. So debit, cash, amounting to 16,000 pesos. Credit, Demos, capital, amounting to 16,000 pesos. Okay, I hope that's clear. So by the way, what journal or special journals should we record this transaction? Since we received the cash, it should be cash receipts journal. All right. And then for the next transaction, we have paid. So meaning we pay something by cash. We paid 1,600 for office rent for the month. Okay, so what did we receive? Of course, we incurred an expense and then we paid them via cash, amounting to 1,600. So debit, rent expense, credit, cash, amounting to 1.6, 1.6. Okay, next one is this one. Purchase 1,000 pesos of supplies on account. So meaning this time we purchased something, right? We received supplies, but we did not pay cash right away. Okay. So for that one, it should be recorded to purchase journal. So the transaction should be recorded as debit, supplies or supplies expense, and then credit, payables. All right, so that would be the transaction. Now for the rest of the transactions, please feel free to do all of its journal entries. Okay, the instruction should be number 1. Identify what special journal should be used, and then journalize each transaction. So, okay, you may go to our computer laboratory or just stay here. Okay, you can start now. Time's up. I hope you're done. Please pass your paper. Just give me a minute to check your answers. All right, good score, but I think you're still a bit confused when it comes to the purchase or cash disbursement. For that one, you can practice more. You can stay here in our practical work area, or you can call me at the trainer's resource area once you're ready to proceed with our institutional assessment. All right. All right. Hello, good afternoon, Shane. Welcome to our institutional assessment area. So as part of our validation process, you will be first answering the written examination for 30 minutes. Okay, here's the paper. You may begin now. Time's up. I hope you were able to answer all the items. For the second part of our validation process, we will be having the demonstration. Since we are in bookkeeping, I have prepared here a work-related project. So these are the source documents that you need to journalize. So you have to staple it to their appropriate special journals, okay? And then after that, make sure to journalize all the transactions for the month of January. Okay, you may start now. Time's up. Okay, I hope you were able to journalize all the transactions. The last part of our validation process is the oral questioning. So here are the questions. Number 1, what are the special journals we use? Number 2, what's the difference between cash disbursement journal and purchase journal? Then last one, how do you prepare compound entries? All right. So Shane, please allow me to have a couple of minutes to check your responses, okay? All right, that's good. Upon checking, you've got 27 out of 30 items for your written exam. For your demonstration, it's good. You were able to journalize all the transactions, all the source documents. And then for the last part, you were able to respond to my questions accurately. Therefore, I can now conclude that you are competent. Let me just go back to the contextual learning area to update your progress chart and achievement chart. Okay, Shane, you may now proceed to the next level of competency. You can proceed to the learner's resource area for your CBLM and answer the self-check activity there, and then compare your answers to our answer keys, all right? If you have further questions or concerns, please reach out to me direct. All right. Thank you, Shane. All right. Hello, Sam. Good afternoon. Welcome to our institutional assessment area. So how's your practice? Are you now ready? Okay. So same thing we did with Shane. First thing we'll have to do is to have your written examination. So you can answer this assessment for 30 minutes. So you can start now. Time's up. I hope you were able to answer the questions. Next part should be the demonstration. So since we are in the bookkeeping, okay, I have prepared a work-related project for you. So I have here the source documents. You have to journalize each transactions and staple it to their corresponding special journals, okay? And then you also provide the correct journal entries for the month of January. Okay, you can now start. Okay, time's up. So, okay, for the last part of your assessment, you have the oral questioning. I actually have 3 questions for you to answer. Number 1, what are the special journals that we use? Number 2, what's the difference of cash disbursement and purchase journal? And then lastly, how do you prepare compound entries? Okay, thank you so much, Sam. Allow me to spend a couple of minutes just to check your responses, okay? And then I'll get back to you. All right, well, very good. You've got 26 out of 30 items for the written examination. You've passed your written test. Next would be the demonstration. At least you were able to journalize all the transactions. That's good. And then lastly, for your overall questioning, we're able to respond to my questions accurately. But for me as a trainer, I think you could put more confidence next time, right? But in general, I can now conclude that you are now competent. Okay, let me just go back to the contextual learning area so that I could update your progress chart and achievement chart. All right, thank you so much, Sal, for waiting. You can come back tomorrow for your post test. All right, thank you guys so much for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. All right, hello, good morning, everyone. So welcome to our day 3 of the training. So how are you? So congratulations to you guys. You're now able to complete all your competencies. Now we will be having your post test, right? So I will be giving you 30 minutes to answer this. Okay, we can start now. All right, time's up. Okay, the next one would be the accomplishment of trainees evaluation forms. So just to give you the context, this form is actually for us to identify the areas for improvements for our centers and for me as your trainers. Okay, you can start now. All right, thank you so much. All right. Once again, I would like to congratulate everyone. Congratulations, Shane and Sam. Congratulations to all our trainees for completing all your competencies. Therefore, I can now recommend you to take the national assessment. Okay, just visit the nearest provincial TESDA office near your area, and don't forget to bring your passport size photos, your assessment fees, your assessment application form, and then make sure that you keep yourself posted in terms of the assessment schedule. All right. And just an additional tip from me as your trainer, when you take the national assessment, take it whenever you're ready. Okay. Make sure that you're ready when you take the national assessment. Okay. Second tip is that you must master the end-to-end process from journalizing transactions to financial transactions, because that's where the work-related project will revolve. Okay, and then based on our previous experiences with our previous trainees, we should spend more time in analyzing the documents and journalizing transactions so you have a smoother process until you reach the preparation of financial statements. Okay. All right. So thank you guys so much for participating in our training program. Good luck on your national assessments, and I'll see you guys soon. All right. Bye. Thank you.